on her way, but.
Yeah, he was involved all in there, you know, that's.
It's 4:01, I'll call the meeting to order. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Not hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Oh, yeah.
All those in favor of adopting the agenda?
Bye.
Aye.
Am I too?
Aye,
Fine,
the motion passed.
I'd assume so.
Who made that motion?
Okay, the first item on the business is to discuss the status of the town reserves as they are today, which is the first page that we have in the packet that I handed you. And I'm starting off with what the actual funds balance was as of 6/30/2024, and this is audited. Welcome, Maureen.
Sorry.
Highway, road and structures was a negative 4,968. We overspent a little bit what we had made available for a culvert project. Highway equipment was $325,576. The guardrails were $1,220. The town hall requirements, we had set aside $38,239. And our computer upgrades program was $8,307 for a total audited amount of $368,374. That year, the 24-25 year, we budgeted and approved by the town $250,000, of which $45,000 was for highway, road and structures, $170,696 for the highway equipment, guardrails $10,000, the fire truck fund $17,000, and town hall requirements another $7,304, which made our total funds available going into the next year a total of $618,374. During 24 and 25, which is a year that just completed, we spent on highway equipment $270,129, and that's made up basically of two things: the loader for $225,000 and truck number one's lease for $43,609. We also gave the fire truck their $17,000, which is the last year that we were doing it through the capital fund. And the town hall, we spent $6,969 on an engineering report, which I believe relates to the stairwell, etc. So we spent a total this past year of $294,098, which left us with a fund balance as of 6/30/2025 of $40,032 in our highway, road and structures, $226,143 in our highway equipment fund, $11,220 in our guardrails program, $38,574 in our town hall program, and $83,07 for computers. This past year, in March, the town voted $200,000, of which $26,000 was dedicated to the highway, road and structures program, and $174,000 to the equipment program. So that means that coming in to the next year, we have available to spend $524,276. Are there any questions on this? The next page shows you that we have $524,276 available. And what do we think we're gonna spend that on this coming year? In our highway equipment funds, I anticipate spending $100,966, and I'll show you what that is in a minute. We have already spent $1,220 on the guardrail program related to, I believe, a culvert. And the computer software, we've spent $3,500 on our Catalyst program for the Lister's office. Town hall requirements, we haven't spent anything yet. And computer upgrade program, $3,325. That's 2 computers in the lister's office. The listers are getting rich this year. So let's go on to the next schedule. And this is our highway equipment and depreciation schedule. And this shows you all the equipment that the town has that we put into the capital program. We have truck number 1, truck number 2, 3, 4, the loader, which we just purchased, the backhoe, grader, the tractor, and the excavator and trailer. The main things that we can look at here are the years 2026 through 2030. That's a 5-year period. During that time, we would be purchasing a new truck, truck number 2, in 2029. This year, we just bid out the pickup. That's gonna be roughly $57,000 and change. We've got truck number 4, which will be next year, 27, 162, 575. And then we have pushed the grader out based on what I've been told by the select board's highway committee and our road foreman, Dave, that we don't need to spend the money on our grader until 2030. Is that correct, guys? Yeah, pretty much, okay. So that's the plan today for our equipment. Are there any questions on that before I move forward? So the next schedule shows you what our equipment needs are by year and how we would be funding them. So in 2025-26, I had mentioned $100,000 was going to be spent this year, $966. $57,357 is a bid for truck number 3, which we just ordered. Truck number 1's lease, which is $43,609. Now this was a 5-year lease, which now is going to be paid off after this year, the 2nd year. Is that correct, Tim?
Yes.
So that will go away in future years. In 26-27, if we replace truck number 4, I have estimated that that will cost us on a 5-year lease, $32,515. So that's what we would spend in 26-27, as we have nothing else planned. Same thing for 27-28, another $32,515. 28-29, we have truck number 4's lease, the 3rd year, and we'd be purchasing another truck under a 5-year lease, truck number 2 for $44,128, or a total of $76,643. And then in 30, we would be spending a large number, truck number 4's lease, truck number 2's lease, and the grader at $350, for a total of $426,643. So that's over a 5-year period. Now we have going into 25-26, when we're gonna start spending this money, we have available right now, $400,143. So the additional cash needed over this next 5 years for equipment is $269,139, or roughly $53,828 a year. Now, of course, the thing is, we have a large balance to start with, so we don't have to spend any money this year or next year if we don't want to. And all that will do is, if we spent 100 this year, 32 and 32, then we would have to come up with 269 the next 2 years, which would be 100 and something a year. So that's the equipment. So we can talk about that in a minute, as to what we want to do in terms of this year. If we go back to the second sheet that I presented here, you can see that we have the $100,966. Then we go over to the forecast spending for 26-27, which is the coming year. We get the $32,515 going out, and that would leave us $266,662 in our highway equipment balance. And we have, nothing going out for the guardrails, but we have $10,000 there. Computer software, we don't have anything budgeted there, but we've spent the 3,500, so we're gonna need to put aside 3,500 for that, which I've done. Then the town hall requirements, talking with Morgan, we feel that probably that's gonna come in at around $80,000. And we have put aside 38,574 right now, so we would need another 42,000 for that. The computer upgrades, we're gonna be buying 2 more computers in the office next year for 3,325. So we need, well, we don't need, we still have some money there, so we don't need to put anything in the computer program this coming year. So that leaves us with $45,500 as what we know we need. So the question is, what do we think we wanna do? Do we wanna go to 200,000 again and put the money for something else? Or do we want to leave it at 45 or $50,000 for the taxes purposes? Or, but it's up to everybody here to chime in and think about what we ought to do with money if we wanna spend more money.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
I would like to see put the 200,000 in, and that excess money be used for a culvert on Fisher Hill. We are out of grants until 2030 or beyond, so we have no money, and those two culverts up there are in dire need of replacement. And I've been trying to get an estimate on them, but I'm sure they're gonna be somewhere around $400,000 apiece. And you have that money in this capital budget.
Well, we have, right now, we have 4 culverts, $66,000. And we're gonna spend 45.5 on something else, so if we went 200,000, we would have about 155,000 roughly to put against culverts,
But you could rewrite some of the,
which would put it up to 66,000.
should we direct some of the equipment money towards that?
That's up to the select board, I think.
There's no other way that we're gonna replace those culverts on Fisher Hill. And every time it rains a lot, we lose the road and put twice as much money in it, so we've gotta find some way to do something about it.
The 2 culverts would cost us $800,000.
But do one.
There's no grants.
That's the thing. Grants, we need grants.
We're out of grants till at least 2030 or beyond.
Cynthia, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think you should just ask for 45,000, because it's supposed to be a even thing to
Right,
keep
so-
things.
So I would recommend that if we're gonna go to 200,000, that money go into the highways and roads and
Yeah.
structures program
Yeah,
at
I
this
go
point.
along with that.
Yeah, I agree with Cynthia. I mean,
John,
put the 200,000 in and not go down to 45.
Right. Yeah,
How much is it a year for our, for the 5-year leasing programs? Are we spending an interest?
how much is it?
Money?
Well, if you buy a truck for $190,000 as an example, with a 5.2% interest rate over 5 years, your payment is $44,128, of which roughly you're gonna end up paying in interest $30,000.
And we got 2 of them on it. It's about 60,000 extra we're paying. Over a 5-year term. Over 5 years.
So you're better off to buy them.
As I say, that's a lot of money.
If you can.
Yeah, but then you can work with the money otherwise, so it's like, which do you do? Work with the money or do you pay?
Most towns lease their equipment.
Yeah.
Most towns lease their equipment like that. separately of those. And again, the interest percentage I've used is 5.2%, who knows what that would be,
As I say, when we went.
It'll
for
probably
the-
come
did-
down.
it probably will come down. This was as of, a couple of years ago.
Did you figure in the interest rate that I got and the small amounts?
I didn't, put it into this, but Morgan would apply for that. And if we got it, it would be beneficial to this. In other words, this is a worst case type scenario. That was at a 2% interest rate, and it only covered, I can't remember exactly,
175.
175, I think, yes. And you went into a pool against all the other towns who could submit for this. So I mean, it's worth definitely going for and seeing if we get it.
Yeah, they said, when I did call them, they said you typically do get it. You
Okay.
just can't. If you were two towns working together going for the same loan, that's like a given,
Yeah,
but chances are you usually do get it.
so we would definitely do that.
So that would alleviate one of the sets of leases, right?
That would be one of them, yeah. Would be
The lease of truck one.
I can tell you in a second. I get
Or
the
no,
right sheet.
it's a four.
That would be truck number 4, which would be the next one that we would buy. And that would fit within that 175 round probably, because it isn't quite as expensive as some of the other trucks we have.
Well, and we're not gonna get another four.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So there's,
One of the reasons why we had this extra money is because the excavator the town owns, and we're gonna keep it, we're not gonna
You mean the grader?
get a different, no.
No, the excavator.
And the other thing, the grader, we're pushing that off for another 5 years,
Right,
and so that gives us extra money, so that's one of the reasons why I think we should use it. The backhoe, we're doing the same thing. We're pushing that off, if that is very low, hours on it. So there's no reason why that won't last more years.
so there is a good chance then of the 32,515 going away when we apply in April for that.
it'll go down, it won't go away.
For now.
Instead of 5% interest, it'll be at 2%.
One of the things that I didn't see on here is what about the hydrant, trying to save for the hydrants? Is there any way we can begin
Yeah,
a program?
And I think you have to realize that, I don't know how long they've been in there, I feel. But at some point in time, those pipes are gonna rot. Now Springfield is having a problem now, they're replacing all the water mains and not even leaking. So, and that's not gonna be a $10 fix. But I think at some point in time, you have to think about putting some money for infrastructure for the leaving the fire.
Well, we had roughly, what, 25,000 in the
Yeah,
regular budget.
almost 25, but that's gonna be a drop in a bucket. If something major should happen in the reserve.
But maybe we
It's
should
in a CD.
continue on putting something in the regular budget each time.
Well, it would be in the capital, it wouldn't be in the general. Cause it would just get absorbed in the general if you didn't use it,
Right,
so it would have to be a capital.
Yeah, cause we already had one leak with the little line across the road a year ago, so.
Yeah, and I would encourage the board maybe to go to the foundation because they're the ones. That if they have a problem with the water, they don't have the sprinkler systems and they can't operate, so maybe they would. I mean, they put it in originally, so maybe they would come in and put some money in each year as well. I don't know if they're going to, but at least you can ask.
I would say something to propose to them, Nature Museum too, I think they have their on their sprinkler system, on their same sprinkler system.
But the end is the major one, because if they don't have a fire station, they can't operate.
Right.
I've said that.
but we were asked to contribute towards the generator.
Yeah.
And so I would think it would be only fair to ask the foundation if they will contribute towards the fire extinguishers. There,
Well, maybe it can be a match. If what we put into the capital each
Right.
year,
They could match it.
maybe they could match the same. just to get it built up.
Well, you're gonna have to. You'll have to do it somehow because the Nature Museum's hitched to it too, so you're gonna have to do it on a. Sort of a fee scale, something. I think you gotta call other towns and see what they charge to be hitched to this.
Well, they obviously has to.
Yes, I agree with you.
So do we make it a
It
category?
affects everybody's house that's on in the town. They're on the lines,
Yeah, that's on my opinion.
yeah.
But I mean, you have to realize that at some point in time, you're gonna have to replace some infrastructure. That doesn't last forever.
Was been in there 55 years now.
The only thing that I know of, since I've been around, is the hydrants all been replaced but one.
So could we add another line item, under computer program, make another line item for hydrants and
Oh, yeah.
add, like, of the, whatever you have left off of them.
Well, we can recommend that we put some money aside this year for hydrants.
Even if
So
it's 10 or 20 or
a
something.
suggestion,
I would.
And so you would add
You wanna
the
suggest-
25,000 to that?
No, cause that's in a CD.
It's in a CD.
Yeah, but you're gonna have it in the capital budget, I think.
I could move it into the capital.
Well, I think you'd have to.
Well, why can't you have it in the CD and say it's in the capital budget?
It's still labeled as,
Yes.
and that, in fact,
But I think it should
it's
show.
like an endowment. It was given for the hydrant, so it's definitely stays a hydrant.
I think it should show in the capital budget and then we
Yeah, I
know
agree.
once we have it.
Yes,
Exactly.
it should just say CD, capital budget, or whatever, just showing that it's in there.
does somebody wanna make a suggestion of what we should start setting aside?
I make a motion that we keep the, we ask for the 200,
Okay,
put in a line item for the fire hydrants. And maybe put 15
Yeah.
into the fire
okay,
hydrants
Something to get
to
started.
get started, plus the CD.
is there a second? Yeah, okay. Motion's been made and seconded that we fund the capital plan at
Just, would you please restate what the division of the money is for,
15
Fire hydrants,
fire hydrants.
and the other,
it's just to go into the highway road structures.
okay?
Actually, I would go into the structures probably, yeah.
Okay.
Motion has been made that we fund the capital budget at $200,000. With 42,000 going for town hall requirements, 3,500 for computer software. 15,000 for fire hydrants, and the balance to highway, road and structures. Is there a second? Yes, all those in favor? Aye. Capital. Is there any other business?
One question I have for you, party under town hall requirements, one of our heat pumps, which I believe is probably considered a capital.
Yeah,
The motor to the fan and the board has gone, it's kaput. They're looking to see if it's under warranty, because they're only 3 years old, and there's a good chance that it'll be under warranty, but the label will not be. And if not, it could be up to at least $1,500 or more. Is that something that could come from the capital?
yes,
Okay.
Already,
is there public comment?
yeah, thank you very much. I just want to make sure that I leave here really understanding what has just been decided. So to the $345,000 that we're expected to have as a fund balance of 6/30/27. We are voting to have $200,000 added to that, divided the way you just described.
Yeah, we're $200,000 is what we will warn in the capital budget for the town in March. of which we anticipate spending $15,000 on hydrants, 42,000 for town hall, 3,500 for computer software, and the balance in the highway and structures, which is the
Okay.
culverts, basically.
Okay. So. To John's point, we're not gonna do anything about the culverts.
We can't, you don't have no money.
Well, the balance.
I just wanna make sure I'm understanding what we're deciding, that's all I'm
I
asking.
think the first thing we have to do is just like, is get a quote from somebody or let it out the bid. To find out how much it's actually gonna cost, cause I've tried 3 or 4 different contractors and nobody will give me a.
That's what I was gonna
quote.
Okay,
And then if it does come up within the money that we do have, I would say, yes, we're gonna do it,
okay,
right?
Well, I would say it's up to the select board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The select board needs to make the final decision on what they do with their money.
got it. Okay, and then in 2030 we'll have this balloon of 350,000.
And obviously, if we take money for the culvert away now, we're going to have to put in more money between now and 2030 than I have shown in that little schedule that I just.
That's the arithmetic exactly that I was doing in my head, how you do both culverts and 350, come and do it in 230, so 2030, so thank you for that, Artie. So. Yeah. And. Just final question, so part of the strategy here is to use the leasing mechanism as a way to lower our cash outflow.
Yes,
But we're also going into debt as a town. And we have already the bond, and then we're adding these vehicles and these equipment leases to our debt portfolio.
Is there any chance that do we do this now or do we wait till the select board meeting, but can we make a recommendation to the select board that they follow through with contacting the Nature Museum and, the Wyndham Foundation?
sure.
As part of our motion that our
I would.
recommendation is to,
We have a public hearing, I believe, on this at some point, right before the select board meeting, don't we? Julie?
that's what we have to, but.
I think the calendar works out for December, the second select board meeting in December.
The second one,
It's the 15th,
okay,
I think.
You'll send a notice out on that.
Yeah.
and so you would have warned a public hearing prior, at 5:30 or whatever for that. day.
So do we have to have a motion that we all wanna make this recommendation, or do we just, in the public? You just get up at the hearing and say this to the board, or what's the best way to do it?
About what, the hydrants?
The hydrants, about
I think it just,
seeking out,
I think it gets put on the agenda for the select board to discuss it again at the meeting.
but does it have to be, it doesn't have to be a motion in the minutes that this is what the capital budget is encouraging.
I would suggest.
So.
Well, if you want, you can do that, mean, tell people, it doesn't matter, I don't.
So
I'm gonna say, I would say that we want the hydrants. And we wanna talk to the people along the Foundation Nature Museum. And also. That we think it would be a good idea possibly to review. The culvert and whether we should take money from the highway structures fund. To do the culvert.
That sounds good.
But somebody can make a motion if you want to,
So move.
okay?
Second,
All those in favor?
I,
The motion is that we will address the hydrant situation and the possible culvert with the select board at that time. You got all this down, Lauren?
I'm trying to guess, I think I got it.
She
Is
can.
there any other business?
Exactly, we got the video.
You did a great job.
Any other business? No? Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned at 4:32.